But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpamania run wild, brother. Let Trumpamania rule again. Let Trumpamania make America great again.
Today, we bid farewell to an American icon. Terry Bollea, he's better known as Hulk Hogan, passed away at the age of 71. And Matt, if you actually remember that clip, we were hosting the RNC live here on The Mandate.
Yes.
The Mandate was one week old at that point in time. So that was very early on in this show, and something that was very memorable that still sticks out right now.
No, you don't forget that moment from that convention, from that speech. That was something that we were privileged to cover right here live.
So I posted on X, RIP to Hulkamania. What's your favorite Hulk Hogan moment? And MP actually had a very personal story from outside the ring.
Well, I mean, look, there's so many moments with Hulk Hogan, but for me, it is one of the greatest all-time bangers of all-time tweets ever. When he just woke up one morning and he just posted, as any person would for all of humanity, "I'm never drinking again, brother, HH." And the problem, he said the funny thing about it, right, is the HH, just like Trump signing it and saying, "I'm never drinking again, brother." And then a minute later, "Only water, coffee, and iced tea, brother, from now on, brother, HH." And every time I have a hangover, I think of those two tweets and the way in which he said it very simply.
Only water, coffee, and iced tea. We've all been there. We know that feeling.
You know exactly what he's talking about. He gets right to it and sort of speaks for all mankind.
We definitely do. So let's go ahead and get to some of the viewer replies. Donald wrote that 1987 WrestleMania 3. That was a huge one. And he says, Hulk slams the giant. I think that came up quite a bit today on the Twitters.
Oh yeah, well that was an incredible moment for a lot of kids, my age, dare I say. Yes.
Dirk replied. He said when he said, "All my little Hulk maniacs, say your prayers, take your vitamins, and you will never, never go wrong." And I saw Jack Posobiec tweet out a ton about that, just exactly that today.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a guy who he had a great. Bold spirit and spread sort of goodwill to a lot of the young kids in America for years.
And T-Bone rounds out the replies with, "As a kid, I loved during a match. He looked like he was done, but the crowd would ignite with the last bit of energy that he had left, and he would rebound and get the W. I would be cheering for him from home, and I just knew that I had helped him." And that's the beauty of what Hulk Hogan did, because maybe you did. All of the crowd cheering. It's part of the entire experience.
Yeah, and someone like Hulk Hogan is just a master performer, showman who is most at home, in the ring in front of a crowd, with this character that was just inherently lovable and lines that are unforgettable. So rest in peace.
Yes, R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. You just said everybody being held accountable there in Washington, D.C. I want to go back to that because that's really been what we've been talking about for a majority of this show. And it feels like we have so little time. We have a country that we have to take back. And it just is like one of those things where, okay, we're right on the precipice of doing the thing. We just need to push it over the edge and actually get Trump and the administration, right? Trump's trying to say, hey, I want this done. Mm-hmm. The administration has to follow through and do this now.
Yeah, so this is a very crucial time for the administration because you got your 2 years going into the midterms, right? And now you got 6 months in. So now things are serious. People expect serious things to happen. And when they don't happen, they get upset. And that's what you see. You see the tension out there in the audience and online. People are realizing, wait, we really need to see results. And in so many ways, the Trump administration has provided more results than most Republican administrations have ever provided already, right? But people are not spoiled, but they're right to be demanding, because they know that this country stands on the precipice. And if we don't solve these problems now, we may not be able to solve them later. So here's the thing. Here's the news. All the people in the administration right now, they've had 6 months to settle in. Now we start to see, certain pictures emerging of who's doing what and who's not doing what. And now is the time when both you as a voter, as a citizen in the audience, and us as a media network have to start holding people accountable and start getting louder and louder when we see things that we don't like. And that's, I think, what this show in part was about with Mike Howell, earlier today. Talking about how we're not seeing what we need to see when it comes to prosecuting people, criminally referring people, et cetera, et cetera. This cannot be allowed to happen this time. We don't have another time. We have this time. So I just would commit to you in the audience, we are going to start sounding the alarm, and we're going to make those alarm bells louder and louder as we go if we find that people aren't actually implementing the agenda.
It's so concerning that Mike Howell's point, of course, is great because he's brilliant. But when he goes through and says MAGA is going to eat the establishment, or the establishment is going to eat MAGA, and it just makes me think back to the Tea Party movement, right? It had a huge burst right out of the gates, and then it fizzled out quickly because the establishment is always going to do what it does. It is going to go through and get the rhinos that he was even saying, like, they're still going to get some of the endorsements, Matt. And we've even started to see that trickle out now from President Trump. Some of the rhinos that we don't like are already getting that seal of approval. But at this point in time, it really is something that the establishment versus MAGA, like, we need to look at it and just say, we are not going to put up with the establishment and the things, the way that things used to be, right, because then you're going to get the same crappy outcomes that we hated. And that's the reason why Donald Trump got so popular so quickly, is because he wasn't doing things as business as usual.
No, you're right, Jill. And what Howell said about, my greatest fear from the heartfelt, is that, MAGA goes to D.C. and D.C. just subsumes MAGA. It takes on, it basically sucks out the substance and creates a skin suit in which it masquerades as MAGA Maha. And in fact, it's the same old Washington, D.C. that's always been there, that everyone's tried to reform, and yet it remains. And it's very easy to do that. You take people who are new in the administration, you say, well, you have this job now and we all work for you, and it's really important to give out these grants, and you should fight for this office because it doesn't deserve to be cut, right? And people kind of go native that way. Or you say, to someone like Trump himself, oh, look, we're doing what you want. We're not going to do amnesty. No, that's fine. And then you quietly, don't do it over here and here. And then you have battles of who's in his ear. And some people are saying, no, so-and-so is going to be great. Yeah, they're a little establishment, but, we need them to run in their state because no one else could win there. So you should endorse this person because they have the best chance to win, even if they're kind of squishy. Those are the sorts of arguments that happen. And then everyone starts to parody. When they know that you're a winner, when they know that MAGA Maha is winning, they all start using the language, right? But using the language has nothing to do with actually getting the job done. And to get the job done, we have to actually reform the deep structure of the administrative state and all these corrupt agencies. And in order to do that, the battle is going to have to go on for a lot longer. So we need everyone to as they say, to stay frosty. And we need to be more and more belligerent when we start seeing things that don't look right, because that's the only way we're going to win.
Yeah, and it's constructive criticism, doing things to defend the actual republic, to make sure that we have something going forward. And I wouldn't be mad even if they went through and unleashed J.D. Vance a little bit more.
Oh yeah, well, we gotta keep JD fresh and rested and ready, because we're gonna need him after this. But right now this is not about tearing anyone down. This is about building the administration up and making sure the Trump administration can deliver on its promises.
Some would call the promises the mandate. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.